Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about a subject that I know you guys love talking about, and that is Disney dining. So I thought what I would do is take you through my top 10 favourite restaurants that I am excited to return to on my next trip. So this isn't necessarily what I think are the absolute top 10 restaurants in all of Walt Disney World, but these are the ones that I'm planning on doing, that I have reservations for, and that I'm most excited to return to, and in some cases try for the first time. Now my next Disney trip I have booked is actually for the 1st of July, and given the current situation, it's highly likely that that trip will not be taking place. But if this trip doesn't happen, I will move these reservations to my next trip, which is later in the year. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you the list of things that I am most excited for, because I know a lot of you guys are really looking forward to knowing what my plans are and exactly what's going on. So these aren't in any particular order, they're just my 10 favourites that I just really am excited for. And the first one on that list is definitely California Grill. This restaurant is at the Contemporary Resort. Right at the top there, you can actually see it on kind of on the roof. It's really up high, and that's why it's so popular, because usually when the fireworks are happening, which of course they're not at the moment with COVID, but usually when Happily Ever After or any of the Halloween or Christmas fireworks are going on, California Grill is extremely popular because you have the viewing platforms where you can go out either during your dinner or afterwards, or however the timing kind of works out, and watch the fireworks from that viewing platform. And they do also have the music piped in as well, so you can really get that experience. And as well as that experience, the actual food there is amazing. I've eaten at California Grill so many times. It's kind of our celebration restaurant, so whenever anyone has a birthday or a special occasion, we always tend to go to California Grill to celebrate. It isn't cheap, it is a signature restaurant, so when the dining plan is around, which of course it's not at the moment, usually it would use 2 of your table service credits, and if you are paying out of pocket for it, then it is kind of pricey, but it's worth it. We've always had good food there, amazing service, the actual atmosphere in the restaurant itself is so nice, and of course you would normally have the fact that you can watch the fireworks from there as well. So I'm just super excited for that, and I really hope I'll be able to get back soon. I feel like it's been a little while. I don't think I've done it for maybe the last 2 or 3 trips, so it's been, you know, a decent amount of time since I've eaten there, so very excited for that. The next one is one of my absolute favourite restaurants in all of Walt Disney World, and that is Yak and Yeti over at Animal Kingdom. And the reason I love this restaurant is because Animal Kingdom is always so hot. Going to Yak and Yeti into an air-conditioned restaurant is just the best feeling on a hot Animal Kingdom day. It really is. With quick service locations, sometimes you have to sit outside, especially at Animal Kingdom, whereas this one, you're guaranteed that amazing air conditioning. And if you don't have a reservation there, you can actually sit at the bar if there's any available seating. There's not very many seats there, but if you can grab a seat there, you can obviously eat there or just have drinks if you'd rather, but it's a perfect place to get out of the sun and the heat. The food there is so good. When the pandemic first happened, they took away the best thing on the menu, in my opinion, which is the wok fried green beans, but they are back. That probably doesn't sound very interesting if you've never seen them, but trust me, they're amazing. So I'm really excited for that. And over the last 18 months, there hasn't been a lot of table service restaurants open in Animal Kingdom. Tusker House has been closed for a long time, although they have just announced that that will be reopening, which is really good because I think they need those kind of table service options in Animal Kingdom. But definitely Yak and Yeti, can't wait for that. The next one on my list is probably the most exciting, and this is one that I did not think was going to be reopened. It didn't have any signs of opening until very recently, and that is of course Ohana. Now a lot of you guys will know Ohana is my favourite restaurant in all of Walt Disney World. It's been closed since the beginning of the pandemic. They've been doing a lot of work over at the Polynesian, and we haven't had any word for ages about when it's reopening, but suddenly they have announced that it's reopening on the 9th of July. So that is during the time that I am scheduled to be there. Like I said, that may not happen, but I did manage to get myself a reservation. The reservation's open today, just this morning, and I managed to get one. And the menu has changed there, not everything, so some of the things have remained the same. They still have the pot stickers, thank goodness, because that's my favourite part, and chicken wings and salad and stuff, but they have made some slight changes to the way that the meal will be served, because it will now all be served family style. So a lot of it did used to get brought out to the table table in that way, but they did used to go around with the skewers of meat from the grill, and they won't be doing that because of COVID. They've obviously decided that that isn't a good idea, so they're just going to bring everything to the table. And they've just made a few tweaks to the menu. One of the more upsetting ones is they've taken away the noodles, which is my other favourite part of the meal, and replaced it with rice, which is not the worst thing, but I do feel like there may be a bit of a uprising about this. Whenever they make changes to the menu at Ohana, they have attempted to do it a few times in the past and it never goes over very well. People like the menu there, so I don't know whether there is going to be some kind of noodle petition happening to bring them back. We will see what goes on. But if I am able to go on that trip, it will be amazing to show that restaurant reopened, show what the new menu's like, what the new experience is like. So yeah, it's amazing that that has suddenly been announced, and I was actually able to snag a reservation. Before COVID and everything happened, Ohana for several years had been so difficult to get a reservation. It's extremely popular. It's very difficult to get kind of, you know, 7:30 popular times for that restaurant, and I think the reservations will go very quickly now that they've announced the reopening, so I'm very glad I got one. And it will be interesting to see what the new menu is like. They do still have the bread pudding. Anyone who was worried about that, the dessert is still the same. They haven't completely changed it, but there are just some tweaks that I'm not 100% sold on, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. But as I said, if this trip doesn't happen, I will try and get one for later in the year. The next one on my list is over at Disney Springs, and that's Raglan Road. And the reason I'm so excited for this one, the next trip I'm going on is with my friend Lisa, and this is one of her favourite restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. We always go to Raglan Road. In fact, I probably don't do it every single trip, but I always make sure I do it when I go with Lisa because she enjoys it so much. The food there is really, really great, actually. They have a really big menu, some really good stuff. Normally they have a lot of entertainment in the form of like live music and dances and stuff. I don't know if that's happening at the moment with COVID, but it's always a fun atmosphere in that restaurant. It's always very busy and lively, and they have a great drinks menu as well, and just the fact that it's one of Lisa's favourites, I'm really, really keen to get back there and experience it again. I haven't actually looked at the menu for quite some time, and they do tweak it sometimes, but largely it stays the same. It has done for quite a long time, and I'm glad about that because they have some really, really good stuff on that menu. The next one on my list is definitely a firm favourite of mine and a lot of people who I travel with, and that's Le Cellier. So Le Cellier is over at Epcot in the World Showcase in the Canada Pavilion, and it's one of Ian's favourites, it's one of Becky's favourites, it's one of my favourites. Weirdly, I don't eat steak, so it's kind of strange that a steakhouse is one of my favourite restaurants. But they have a few things on the menu here that make it absolutely amazing even if you don't eat steak. One thing being the cheddar cheese soup with the pretzel bread, which, let me just tell you, is one of my favourite things to eat in all of Walt Disney World. It's so good. It's just, yeah, you absolutely have to get that. They also have poutine there, and they have various different types. I always really, really enjoy that. They have an ice wine flight that I really like, and just the atmosphere at Le Cellier is very cool as well, like the theming. It's quite a small restaurant, but you really do feel like you're in a wine cellar. It's kind of like dark wood, and the lighting is quite kind of dimmed in there. It's just a really, really nice restaurant, and always one of my favourites in Epcot, so I'm very, very excited to get back to that one. The next one is a restaurant that's brand new to me, and that is Topolino's Terrace, which is over at Disney's Riviera Resort. So I visited Riviera back in March when I was on my trip. I just went for a quick look around, and Topolino's Terrace has been one of the restaurants over the past kind of 18 months that has remained open in Disney World as a character experience. So it's not necessarily the same format as before where characters will come right up to you, but it's still a character experience. You can still get photos kind of from a distance, maybe get some selfies with the characters. I'm definitely going to go there for breakfast because I love the look of the menu. It looks really, really nice. I always like showing new restaurants in the vlogs, and it's one we haven't done before. I love the Riviera Resort. I love taking the Skyliner over there, so I really, really can't wait to let you guys know what I think of it. Is it any good? It is kind of pricey for breakfast, I have to say. It's one of the more expensive things that I have booked, but I'm really, really looking forward to it, so I will let you know how I get on with that one. The next one I have is actually another new restaurant to me, which is Wolfgang Puck Bar and Grill. So this is over at Disney Springs. It's right next to the Coke store and opposite Chicken Guy, and it looks really, really nice. I believe it's a signature experience. Again, it's on the pricier side, but the menu does look amazing. I have watched a few different vlogs of locals who have been there. I think Tim Tracker went there, and the food and drinks looked really, really good. I always absolutely love loved Wolfgang Puck Express, which was over in the marketplace. I still can't quite believe that has closed down. It's been one of my favourites for so many years, and I would go there every single trip, and it's very unfortunate that that's gone away. I do wish that that was still there, but I'm really keen to try the new table service location. It looks really good, so obviously you guys will see in the vlogs what I think of that one. The next one on my list is mainly based on atmosphere. The food at this restaurant is not my favourite ever. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's just not my type of thing that I would normally go for, but because I love the restaurant so much itself, I still always go there, and that is San Angel Inn over in Epcot in the Mexico Pavilion. And I've spoken about this before. I think this is one of the most atmospheric restaurants in all of Walt Disney World. You really do feel like you're outside, yet you're inside, which is nice because you're out of the heat and in the air conditioning, and it's just so beautiful. If you can get a table by the water with the boats drifting by from Grand Fiesta Tour, it's very dark in there, so you might need your phone torch to actually be able to read the menu. I will just warn you of that. It's very dimly lit, but it's just perfect. It's such a nice setting, and the whole of the Mexico Pavilion, not just the restaurant, is so lovely. So I do always love to visit that restaurant, even though the food isn't necessarily my favourite ever. I just think it's such a perfect setting, and it's one of those things that really makes me feel like I'm at Disney. I just love it. I love Epcot, as you know, and the restaurants there are great, and that is one of my absolute favourites. And I actually have that booked in for my first night when I arrive, which is kind of crazy. I don't normally make table service reservations for the first night, but there were so many different restaurants that I wanted to go to, I just had to do that. So yeah, hopefully I won't be too tired. The next one is another restaurant I have booked for breakfast, and that is Whispering Canyon Cafe. And this is one that I have been to before, but I don't think you guys have ever been with me in the vlogs, because it was a long time ago that I went there for dinner, I think it was. So it'd be really nice to include that. That's one that we haven't looked at before. And the reason I'm going for breakfast rather than dinner, I just prefer the menu, and also with it being so close to the Magic Kingdom, it's a perfect option on a Magic Kingdom day to get an early breakfast there, and then you can just get the boat over to the Magic Kingdom from Wilderness Lodge. And again, it's served family style over at Whispering Canyon Cafe, and it just looks really good. I've heard great things about it. The restaurant itself is really fun. There are kind of like shenanigans and antics that kind of go on. I don't think that happens as much at breakfast as it does at dinner. And also, if that's not your type of thing, if you hate any kind of like attention or participation in anything that's going on, you can make it clear that you just, you know, want to get on with eating. But it is quite fun to watch sometimes, and yeah, I'm just really keen to get back and show it in the vlogs because we haven't done it for such a long time. I think it was 2011, so it really was a long time ago that we did that one. And the final one on my list is one that you will have seen in the vlogs on several occasions because I love going to this restaurant. It's over in Epcot again. It's another of my favourite pavilions, which is the Japan Pavilion, and it is of course Teppan Edo. This is one of the best kind of experience restaurants, I think. It's really, really fun to sit around the grill with other people. Again, I don't know with COVID what the situation is with that in terms of distancing, or whether you are sat with other people, I don't know, but usually you would be. And it's just really, really fun. The chefs are great there. You obviously watch them cooking your food, which is great. They put on a bit of a show. Some of them are really fun. Like the chefs there are amazing. The food is always really good. Again, it's kind of pricey for what it is, but I think because you're getting a kind of experience with it, it's not just, you know, sitting there and eating. I think it's well worth it, and I love going there, and so do all of my travel companions. I think everyone I've ever been to Florida with loves that restaurant, so I can't wait to get back there. It's always really fun in the vlogs, and I would highly recommend it if you've not done it before. It's just a really fun experience and something a little bit different. So those are my top 10 restaurants that I'm most looking forward to getting back to. Please let me know in the comments which restaurants you are most looking forward to when you return to Disney World, or if you have a trip coming up, if you're in a state or a country where you're able to travel. Let me know what you've got planned. Let me know what reservations you have. And the other thing I want to know from you guys in the comments, what is your Disney countdown? Do you have a trip booked to anywhere? Not necessarily just Disney World. Could be Disneyland, could be Disneyland Paris, Tokyo Disney, anywhere. Or if you're in the UK and you're doing one of the UK staycation cruises, let me know what your countdown is for that. I love hearing from you guys, and we haven't talked countdowns for a while. I think we haven't really wanted to because things have been so crazy. We still don't know when travel is going to happen. There is a little bit of talk kind of going on at the moment, but there certainly isn't anything concrete about when we're we're going to be able to travel. So we're still just waiting to see what happens, and like I said, this trip that I have booked is very soon, so that one may not go ahead, but I will certainly move all these reservations over to the next one. But yes, let me know when you're going and what your plans are, because I do love to hear from you. So with that said, I just want to say a huge thank you for watching, and thank you for being here over the course of the last 18 months when there hasn't been any new vlog content, but I know you guys have still enjoyed everything that we've been doing, the live streams and everything else, supporting us over on Patreon. We've actually got a podcast going up on Monday over there, which is all about DVC. So if anyone's interested in Patreon, I will link it in the description. We really do appreciate your support over there, and you guys are just amazing. So I hope you're all having a great day and staying safe and well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.